welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and welcome back to another video. Today, I am putting money to work. What does that mean? With the comic market coming in, I wanted to go out there and make some purchases of books that I think will go up in the long term. Now, I get a lot of questions from people out there in the community. What books am I buying right now? And I always say I want to stick to the blue chip keys once the market starts to dip. But with that said, a lot of people out there in the community can't go out and spend a ton of money on some books. But I want to remind you guys, there are smaller blue chip keys in my opinion, and I picked up one of them from my LCS this week. But before we get started, guys, into this video, like always, I'm going to ask you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, I want you to do me a favor, go ahead and click the subscribe button for me. It really does help the channel out, and you will not regret it. I want you to tap that like button on the way out because it helps the algorithm out, and turn on the notification bell because it lets you guys know when I post new videos. So like I said, I have books from everywhere this week. I got stuff from eBay, I got stuff from Instagram, and of course I picked up some stuff from my LCS. But I think now is a great time to put some money to work if you are so inclined. I'm not afraid about the dips because I am a long-term collector for the most part. I may sell some books in the short term if I want to buy something else, but for the most part, I like to hold on to my stuff. With that said, I'm going to get into the stuff that I picked up from my LCS. I'm going to go through them quick because a lot of them are just smaller keys, smaller books that I picked up to fill out my ASM run, but I did pick up a nice copy of Fortnite Zero War for the kiddo because I know he likes playing Fortnite and he likes those codes that are in the back of those books. And I got a bunch of ASM books, probably ranging from the 200 plus to fill out my ASM run. I'm going to go through them quick. 273. The worst cover ever, 262. 285, nice Punisher cover. 288, nice Symbiote suit cover. 266. 264. Nothing crazy, guys, just filler books. 254, that's a nice cover. 248. 247. And 203. That one's a nice one too. So as you can see, if you guys can catch some of the prices I pay for this stuff, $5, $8, $10 was one of the books. I don't like to spend a lot of money on filler books, and I think that is a great way to collect, in my opinion, because if you start spending a lot of money on filler books, you will be in trouble in this hobby collecting. With that said, I'm going to show you the book that I picked up from my LCS, Zap Comics. They're about 30 minutes away from me, so I can't always pop in every week, but when I do get there, I always ask them on Instagram what they have. Every time I go in, they have something new, which is awesome. So I was able to pick up, to me, an undervalued key. I just sold my raw copy of this book, and I wanted to upgrade and add another raw copy back. I picked up another CGC copy maybe about 7 months ago, but I got a good raw deal on this one. So without further ado, it is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 194, the first appearance of the Black Cat. Now, this book is absolutely beautiful. They have it graded at 6.570, and I am going to agree with that because even though the corners are sharp, there's no, creases or anything like that. There are a bunch of spine ticks on this book, and I don't think that you could probably see a little bit right there. There's a couple right along here. Outside of that, this book is absolutely freaking perfect. I love the way it presents. It looks phenomenal. It's a great looking copy, and I'm glad to add it back into the collection. This is a book, guys, and when people ask me, hey, what book should I go out and get right now? If you can't go out and get the big blue chip boys, small blue chip boys work just as well. So that's, it's on the cover, $325. I always get a little bit of a discount because I buy a bunch of stuff and I have to give a card out. If you reach a certain limit, you can get a little bit of a deal. So definitely happy I added that, but those are the books I'd be adding to my collection right now. Probably coming to the MCU or the Sonyverse within the next few years, I would assume, but either way, down the line, probably a given. Highly undervalued key and an ASM key at that. A book I definitely would like to add. So the next one I'm going to get into is a book I picked up off of eBay. So this book, to give it a little bit of insight, is a second appearance. So you guys know how I feel about second appearance, guys. I don't like spending a lot of money on these books. So with that said, maybe about 6 to 7 months ago, this book was almost triple the price, and it has come down so far so fast that I had to add it to the collection. I have been looking for a copy of this one forever, but it was just too much money that I wanted to spend on a second appearance. But the seller did a nice job. Seriously hot books. Thank you. Wasn't expecting that to see that on the Gemini. But regardless, like I said, I think everybody has their own way of collecting, right? Everybody does things their own way. Everybody picks up what they want, and I think that's great. And I'm never going to tell anybody what to do. However, when it comes to finances, we all have our own issues. We all have our own things that we're going to say, hey, I can do this, I can't do that. So I don't like, personally, me, spending a lot of money on second appearances. I just think it's a waste. I'd rather take that money and put it towards a first appearance. I think that's always a better financial deal. But with that said, if I can get a second appearance for a deal, for a good price, for a book that maybe is coming down when it shouldn't be right now, like this one is, I'm going to try to snag it if it's a good deal. And that's what I think this book is. So I always talk about this book and its predecessor about, I think it's a big time key and people are dumping it right now and I can't figure out why. So that tells me it's time to pick this book up, and that's exactly what I did. So while I'm unwrapping this thing, give me 1 minute. So this is not a high grade book, but it's probably around a 3.5 just from the inspection that I've done on the book and, you know, from seeing it online. Nothing, you know, I haven't really looked at the interior. They said it was complete. So with that said, this is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 51, the second appearance of the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. A book that I always wanted in my collection, and it fills out my ASM run with another big book. So maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, I said this book was probably over $300, which I thought was absolutely insane because I think at that point you could have got for the same grade. You could have got an ASM 50 for maybe around $1,000, or maybe even a little bit less than that, between $800 and $900. So I paid a total of $120 for this book, and I thought now is the perfect time to absolutely snag it up. So again, like I said, another book. While that one is not a blue chipper, it's a second appearance, and if we can get a good second appearance deal, I'm all over it. If I can't, then I'm not going to do it because I think first appearances you'll have a easier time selling them. So whenever I buy something, regardless of the market, I have to turn around and look and say, hey, how easy is this going to be for me to sell? So that's a big determining factor in how I buy books. So I have 2 more things to show you guys. The first one is a book that I picked up off of Instagram. Now this one has a little bit of a story to it. So I actually reached out to a fellow Instagrammer who had this book for sale. Actually, he had it for like raffle, believe it or not. And he just posted it for raffle, and he wasn't getting any bites on it. So with that said, I made him an offer and said, hey, would you be interested in selling this book to me? Because it is a book that I have been trying to get forever, but I'm only willing to pay a certain amount for. So he said, well, this is what the seller's looking for out of it, and it really I didn't want to pay it. I said, well, this is what I can do. And he's like, all right, let me present it to the seller and see what he says. So voila, maybe about a half hour later, he said, you know what, the seller just wants to get rid of the book. He'll take what you offered. So I actually paid a total of $720. So this is a book, like I said, that I always wanted in my collection. I have a raw copy of this book, and I wanted to get a signature series copy of this book because this, for anybody who watches my channel religiously, let's see if you can name it. This is my favorite comic book of all time. Okay? When I say that a lot of books probably, like I love this, I love that. But no joke, you've heard me say this before. This is my favorite cover of all time. This is my favorite comic of all time. This is a book that I've always wanted signed by my favorite artist. And now I have a copy. All right. And I don't do too much on signature books. If I get a signature, it's because I think that book is something that I want to behold, to have that person's signature on it. So I just, as you guys know, I got a Hulk 1 signed by Stan Lee. It's a book that screams Stan Lee. It's synonymous with him. It's a famous character by one of the most famous covers of all time. It was just something I really wanted signed by Stan Lee. Now, this, on the other hand, I wanted signed by the artist. The artist is John Romita Sr. Probably the best cover that he's ever done, the best cover I've ever seen, and it's his first artwork on Amazing Spider-Man. So that probably gives it away if you guys know what I'm talking about. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 39, signed by the man himself, and a 5.0 signed by John Romita and Stan Lee. So for me to pick this up for about $700, I thought it was crazy. Stan signatures can go for about $1,000 for the most part. Right now, things are dropping to the point where I thought I could snag this book, and I did it. John Romita alone, just the 2 signatures on a piece of paper, will probably go for about $700 in my opinion. So to get this book, my favorite book of all time, my favorite cover of all time, of my favorite character of all time, signed by the artist and the creator, was a no-brainer to me. And this is off-white to white pages, signed by Stan Lee on 9/28/14 and John Romita on 10/13/14. Norman Osborn revealed as the Green Goblin, and the first John Romita on the Spider-Man title. I love this book. It's beautiful. The artwork is pristine. It's perfect. And it has meaning. The colors between the blue background, the green and purple of a goblin, and the red on Spider-Man, it doesn't get much better than this for me in the Silver Age. But I have to be honest with you, that's not the best book that I got for this haul, guys. So I was at my live sale over at Gotham Underground this past weekend, and I had been watching a book on eBay, and it was going set to end during that sale at the show. So I kind of set my alarm to see, hey, let me see what this book is at when there's maybe 30 minutes left in the sale. And I got the alarm, and I was like, you know what, that's not that bad. It's a big boy. I'm not going to lie to you. I definitely wanted to add another copy of this book to the collection, and I never thought I'd be able to get another raw copy because every time I see this book, it is graded. So with that said, I was able to snag this, win an auction right at the end. Of course, you know, you snipe and you get it. And I couldn't believe that I nailed this thing for what I got it for. It's around market value because I think looking at the book for it was on screen, it's about a 1.5 copy of this book. Now, a 1.0 for this book was just on the Hot 10 list maybe about a month and a half ago, and a 1.0 just sold for $6,600. Now, this could very turn out to be a 1.0. I don't plan on grading it, but this could very well turn out to be a 1.0, but I paid, I'm not going to lie to you, I paid $7,000 for it, and that's including shipping, whatever, tax. That's including tax on eBay, unfortunately, but that's with everything combined, came out to $7,000. So I've sold some books recently. I wanted to roll it into another big boy, and I was able to snag this one. So with that said, if I can get this box open, I will show you what it is. All right, after all that, I finally got the thing out of all the packaging. I wish they had put, 2 pieces of cardboard around this thing, but it looks like it came out in pretty good shape, so I am very, very happy. It actually looks pretty good. The cover looks great. It is attached. I definitely saw that. There's a little bit of water damage to this book, but it really presents rather nicely. There is some spine stress. There is a little bit of split on the bottom left-hand corner. But regardless, what I was able to snag a raw copy of, you guys are not going to believe. You ready? It is a copy of Tales of Suspense, number 39, the first appearance of Iron Man. That's right. Not many people would go out and snag a book like this raw, but I got to tell you, you guys know if you watch my channel, I'm a big raw collector, and this one is probably one of the biggest that I've ever purchased. You guys know I picked up that Dr. Doom Fantastic Four 5. I had it graded because I knew at some point I was going to sell my 2.5, and now I have this bad boy. Now, it does look, like I said, it looks like it's to be in decent shape. You guys let me know what you think. Like I said, there is a little bit of water staining here as well. We have some, creases here, dog ear. There is a little bit of a spine split at the bottom. Probably goes up to here, but it is attached. And that is what is important. Now, this book is staying raw. I am not grading this book anytime soon. I don't think you'll ever, at this point, going to get another copy of Tales of Suspense 39 in the raw form. You rarely see these things in this way. This is the way it's going to stay. So again, the title of this video says it all. Putting money to work. When things come down, you have an opportunity to add things to your collection that maybe you couldn't have gotten for a different price, a cheaper price, and I went ahead and took a swing and picked up this book. Now, am I going to make my money back in 30 years? Absolutely. Do I expect to make money on this book in 30 years? Absolutely. I'm not playing the short game on this book. I'm not looking to sell it within the next couple of years. This is a long-term hold for me. I do have a 2.0 CGC graded copy, but when I saw this thing, I was like, you know what? If it goes for a decent price, a fair price, I'm going to try to snatch this book up. And I did. So, buy the big blue chip keys, guys. And if you can't do that, buy the small blue chip keys. I told you an ASM 194, an ASM 39 is probably just along those lines. Doesn't have to be signed, but if you love that book and you love Spider-Man, you love John Romita, it was important to me to pick that book up. So buy what's important to you and stick to the blue chip keys, even if they're small ones. Hope you guys enjoy this video and hopefully it was informative for you guys. That's what I try to do. Pass along the way I collect. If this seems like it's the right way for you to do it as well, I don't mind, helping you guys out. If it's totally against what you do, then that's 100% fine. My videos probably aren't for everybody out in the community, but for people out there who think like me, who want to collect like me, I'm always here to help you guys. With that said, guys, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.